You might think that all it takes to become a Marvel superhero or villain is acting chops and a dashing smile. But these days, it's all about the physical transformation and who can add the most muscle. From heroes to bad guys, everyone is hitting the gym before heading on set to hit each other.
Oh my God!
Josh Brolin took on the role of not one, but two of the baddest Marvel villains. While some other 49-year-old actors might have hidden behind CGI to look the part, Brolin went all in and totally changed his physique, getting into the kind of shape that seems out of reach for a person half his age. He's been very open about the grueling process on his Instagram, and all of his hard work has definitely paid off. The head-to-toe makeup and prosthetics that Karen Gillan had to suit up in every day to take on the role of Nebula in Guardians of the Galaxy wasn't the only transformation that the young actor underwent. Nebula is a deft and highly skilled fighter, so Gillan had to become one as well. She trained for 2 months prior to shooting, and then every day that she wasn't on set, she resumed her fight and stunt regimen. She was told by her trainers that you have to do something 6,000 times before it's second nature. Paul Rudd might not be the first Marvel actor who comes to mind when you hear the word ripped, but seriously, have you seen that shirtless scene from Ant-Man? The man is jacked! And at 46 years old at the time, he worked really hard to get there. And how did he do it? Well, in his own words, eliminate everything fun for a year and then you can play a hero. Which is exactly what he did. He cut out almost all carbs, red meat, and alcohol entirely, all refined sugar, and packed in the protein. Just when we thought that Michael B. Jordan was at his peak physical condition for Creed, Black Panther came along and proved that he could get even bigger. Seriously. The actor's process of whipping his body into shape to play a boxer was brutal, but when he showed up as Killmonger, he was an entirely different Jordan. His trainer said that he wanted Killmonger to be very menacing, so bulking his chest, shoulders, and back was their priority. He also said that if you want to look like Killmonger, prepare for some massive pain. Okay. While men are often more focused on building muscle enough to bust out of their super suits, actresses generally go another direction. While they still get strong enough to take down any bad guy, their costumes often call for a less bulky physique. So, for her role as Scarlet Witch, Elizabeth Olsen worked out 5 days a week with a combination of boot camp, ballet, and yoga to build muscle while staying lean. She also followed a strict diet of no dairy or gluten for her 7 to 8 meals per day. We obviously couldn't continue on this list without talking about Chris Hemsworth and his transformation from hunky Australian to even hunkier Australian, playing the Asgardian god of thunder, Thor. While Hemsworth was no slouch to begin with, he has said that he rarely ventured into weight training. Well, all that changed when he landed Thor. He always works out 6 days a week, but generally puts on another 20 pounds of muscle for every time he plays Thor by eating way more and lifting even heavier weights. When the character of Mantis came on screen in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, she proved right away that she was not a fighter to be messed with. The actress who plays her, Pom Klementieff, is no slouch either. She already had boxing training under her belt for 2013's Oldboy remake, but kicked it into high gear for her Marvel role. She has a purple belt in Taekwondo and trained multiple hours per day for months before the shoot with coaches and fight choreographers to nail that Mantis physicality. When Tom Holland was first cast as the newest incarnation of Peter Parker, the young actor seemed like a perfect fit for our favorite web-slinger. With a background in dance and gymnastics, he already had the agility and grace to fly around as Spidey does. But with a spandex suit like that and long days on set, he needed to build some muscle to sustain himself. The actor still trains with a combination of gymnastics, boxing, sports, and hiking all the time to keep himself in Spider-Man shape. Evangeline Lilly got herself into amazing shape for her role as the Wasp, which she has taken to Instagram to document. The actress has been open about the fact that she doesn't count calories, but instead is mindful of what she puts into her body. If she can't pronounce it, she won't eat it. Along with diet, she focuses on strength and endurance training as well as flexibility. For her Marvel fight scenes, she underwent a ton of stunt and fight training to make sure she could hold her own during shooting. No one who has seen the first Captain America will be forgetting that reveal anytime soon. You know the reveal we mean, the first time the new and improved Steve Rogers is released from the pod post-transformation. He was one of the ones who really started it all, and for good reason. Evans spends months getting into shape for the Cap with daily extensive weight training to bulk up his naturally slim frame. He also incorporated gymnastics and aerobics to work on his speed and agility. Not only does Lupita Nyong'o slip effortlessly into whatever role she takes on, she always seems to do so with so much joy. The same can be said for her training regimen for the part of Nakia in Black Panther. The whole cast took part in a 6-week boot camp, sometimes with workouts starting at 3 a.m. and lasting upwards of 4 hours. She trained in jiu-jitsu and judo, along with overall cardio, strength training, and serious fight choreography. And she loved every second of it. Zoe Saldana is no stranger to getting herself into amazing shape for movie roles, and her turn as Gamora in Guardians of the Galaxy was no different. While she has always been in shape, the actress needed to develop the endurance to fight for long hours on set. She and her trainer focused on cardio and strength training, working her entire body and building up her core. Along with that, she followed a strict diet of mostly plant-based food, no added sugar, and very limited carbohydrates. While he might not be quite as massive as Michael B. Jordan, Chadwick Boseman got himself into amazing shape for his royal role of T'Challa in Black Panther. He already had a background in martial arts, which he lent to the incredible Black Panther fight scenes, but Boseman began working out another 4 hours a day in order to pack on the muscle. He also added a combination of Filipino martial arts, capoeira, and Muay Thai, among other fighting styles, to his hand-to-hand combat repertoire. CGI might have really brought the Hulk to life on the big screen, but that doesn't mean that Mark Ruffalo took that as an excuse to hang back and eat donuts. Ruffalo had the idea that in order for Bruce Banner to get a hold of his anger, he would need to live a very clean life. So he began an intense 21-day cleanse, which included only 1 meal a day, 2 shakes, no meat, no caffeine, and no sugar. That diet makes us want a Hulk smash, but whatever works for you, Banner. Danai Gurira as Okoye walked into Black Panther and stole every scene out from under its already impressive cast. Along with being one of the best fighters in Wakanda, there was one skill in particular that she had to become an absolute pro at, and that was wielding her vibranium spear. Gurira has likened the weapon to swinging around a 5-foot-long dumbbell. On top of that training, she's a fan of the Jillian Michaels 20-minute workouts, Pilates, and is an avid swimmer. Tom Hardy has never been one to shy away from totally overhauling his anatomy for a role, so it's no surprise he threw himself into Venom with the same vigor. To get into shape for Marvel's Eddie Brock, the actor couldn't just pack on a ton of weight like he did for Bane. Instead, during his daily workouts, he focused on mixed martial arts training to get himself through the demanding Venom fight scenes. He also studied jiu-jitsu and boxing in order to focus on speed and agility as well as strength. Olivia Munn took her role as Psylocke in X-Men Apocalypse very seriously, and getting into shape for the role just as much. And with a costume like hers, there's little room to cheat. The actress made sure that whenever she wasn't on set, she was at the gym for 6 or 7 hours a day. While she already has a black belt in Taekwondo, she spent hours perfecting the sword fighting technique her character employs in the film. She did 95% of her own stunts, and it shows. Dave Bautista was no slouch going into Guardians of the Galaxy. The 6'5" former pro wrestler definitely already had a ton of muscle to work with. But he seriously towers over everyone in whatever scene he's in, including Chris Pratt, who isn't exactly little. Bautista focused on building up his chest, arms, and shoulders for the role, as he is basically always shirtless. He spent hours and hours in the gym prepping for the part, with a mix of weightlifting, kickboxing, and boxing. Before his turn as Quicksilver in Avengers Age of Ultron, we knew Aaron Taylor-Johnson from movies like Anna Karenina and the slightly scrawny teenager Dave Lazuski in the Kick-Ass movies. But when he appeared in Age of Ultron, he had undergone a serious physical transformation. The actor put on almost 20 pounds of muscle by overhauling his diet and focusing on strength training at the gym with his former military trainer. They made sure he'd be able to handle all of his on-set stunts without tiring out by the end of the day. If all you're going to be wearing day in and day out on set in front of millions of viewers is a layer of blue paint and some latex prosthetics, you're going to want to make sure that you're in the best shape of your life, which is what Jennifer Lawrence did when she took on the role of Mystique. She and her trainer focused on short bursts of cardio from cycling and the elliptical along with strength training. She also made sure to eat clean but not deprive herself of nutrients needed to get through the day. While he didn't undergo the most drastic physical transformation of the bunch, Jeremy Renner had to make sure that his archery skills and physical condition were at their peak for his role as Hawkeye in the Avengers movies. For him, that meant training in archery with Olympic athletes and then working with fight choreographers to combine those skills with some serious hand-to-hand combat. He also makes sure to stretch and limber up before every take so his reflexes are at their sharpest. The first time we met Hugh Jackman's Wolverine in the very first X-Men movie, he was in shape for sure, but a more casual, achievable kind of shape, which is a look he tossed completely out the window when he came back in 2013's The Wolverine, an entirely different person. He might be the guy who really started the whole getting jacked to play a superhero thing. If he didn't start the trend, this movie definitely raised the bar about 25 notches. He's only gotten bigger and badder in the movies following and shows no signs of slowing down. Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow has become known as one of the best fighters among the Avengers, and for good reason. Since she first appeared in Iron Man 2, Natasha Romanoff has proven herself a fierce ally with hand-to-hand combat skills like no other. Scarlett has said there is no secret to staying in Black Widow shape, just the usual 5 a.m. workouts and strict diet. She also credits her competitiveness with her co-stars as part of her motivation to keep getting better and better.
I want one.
No.
To say that Chris Pratt's transformation from the lovably doughy Andy Dwyer from Parks and Recreation into the insanely chiseled Star-Lord in Guardians of the Galaxy was a big one is still underselling it by a lot. Not only did the actor drop 70 pounds and pack on a ton of muscle, but he transformed his entire image from funny friend to leading man with just one movie. It wasn't just about working out either. It meant overhauling his diet entirely and giving up alcohol altogether.
We'll follow your lead, Star-Lord.
There was never any doubt that Brie Larson would be able to bring her acting prowess to the demanding role of Carol Danvers, but the lengths that she went to get into shape for the part surprised everyone. The Oscar winner trained for an hour and a half every day for 6 months, and then 3 months before shooting began, she upped that to twice a day with cardio and weights in the morning and 2 hours of stunts at night. Check out the video of her pushing a Jeep if you need proof that she walks the walk. So, it takes a little more than just a pretty face to make it in a Marvel movie these days. What did you think of this list? Would you work out like crazy to get into superhero shape? Let us know in the comments, and we hope you had fun watching.